Well, this case has a crazy beginning. If you look at the complaint that lays out the allegations, it really starts with a busybody public defender who was walking to the judge's courtroom, sees a bunch of uniformed federal agents, takes a picture, and then does like a woke Paul Revere, goes into court and says, ICE is here, ICE is here. And what happens, the judge reacts to that eventually by not calling the case, so the ICE agents can never see this guy leave the courtroom, and ushering him out a door that's reserved for chambers and the jury room. So it was crazy behavior. The fly in the ointment, basically, was that the public defender didn't know that there were several agents there not in uniform. So the judge ushers all of those uniformed agents away. Go talk to the chief judge, which they had already done. They had done everything right in terms of waiting to pick this guy up. They leave, the undercover agents don't leave, and they literally see defendant and lawyer shoot out this back door to another elevator to try to escape from federal custody. So, it's a lesson about the public defender being a little too intrigued by what was happening. But the judge, under those facts, very clearly meets the elements of these two statutes, and I think it's a very strong case for the government.
Just so that everybody knows, these are the charges that were brought against Flores Ruiz, the guy who was spirited out of the courtroom. 3 counts of battery, domestic abuse, infliction of physical pain and injury. He issued an order of expedited removal by the Border Patrol way back in 2013. That's 12 years ago. Removed to Mexico, no evidence, sought or obtained permission to return to U.S. Okay, so we have that all going on. That judge certainly probably is not thanking that public defender. That's an interesting new detail I didn't know. Let me also ask you about this, because a federal judge has just backed President Trump on the use of the Alien Enemies Act for deportations. That's a rare legal victory for President Trump, and tell me more about that.
Yeah, it's an interesting ruling. Judge Haynes from the Western District of Pennsylvania wrote up a 43-page opinion, and there's a couple of things that are kind of good news and then a real practical aspect. The good news for the administration is finally have a judge basically saying we're going to give deference to the executive branch. If they designate somebody as part of a terrorist organization, we're not here to undo it. If they say they want to invoke the Alien Enemies Act, we're going to let them do it without a whole lot of scrutiny. And she basically looks at the key provision that everybody got hung up on, which is, can you call this an invasion, or can you call this a predatory incursion? That's the magic phrase. When Tren de Aragua comes into the United States like they did.